Financial freedom, my biggest hope. Own. Forget living rich and dying broke. Own. Real estate own. Cryptos own. Stocks own. It occurred to me, money is just energy. That's why they call it currency. Currently, we work for currency. Let's see how it could work for we. Own some land, invest in property. Understand how money works properly. Instead of crying over mine, making a mockery. How about you profit off the profits of your property and help with poverty? But no one ever taught me how to use money properly. So I spend my profits all on shopping sprees and scratch tickets waiting for the lottery. Honestly, it really, really bothers me. Why don't we study economics and sustaining this economy instead of geometry? I'm not a prophet, I'm a queen with integrity. Trying to be free financially before wedding rings, so I can pass the keys to my seeds, inherit everything. Intergenerational wealth is the remedy. Intergenerational wealth, not welfare. Intergenerational wealth, well that's fair. You can't take the money to your grave, so leave it for your heir, leave a legacy to share. Other cultures do it, now it's time for you to care. Tomorrow isn't promised, be financially prepared. Don't die over neighborhoods that your mama renting. Buy the neighborhoods, own the neighborhoods. Buy the neighborhoods, own the neighborhoods. Why don't they teach us financial tools in school? I don't know, they take us for fools. They want consumers to consume it, follow their rules. I can measure with a ruler, but don't know how to rule financially. I guess it's up to families to teach us the jewels. But Africans were stripped from our roots. They stolen our loot, hidden our truth. Now it's time to recoup, time to regroup, no time for excuse. Cause soon it's gonna be shame on me, the blame's on who? Don't gang bang to claim street names not owned by you. Instead invest, make change, make moves. Black Wall Street Part 2. I'm done being milked, done consuming from humans that don't respect my human. Done nothing to you, man, especially you, the blue man. Killing off our black man, watching us like true man. Don't die over neighborhoods that your mama renting. Buy the neighborhoods, own the neighborhoods. Buy the neighborhoods, own the neighborhoods. Financial freedom, my biggest hope. Own. Forget living rich and dying broke. Nope, own. Real estate own. Cryptos own. Stocks own. Man, I wish I invested in Bitcoin when it was 10 cents. If I put in $100, I would have had over 100 million. Guess how I'm feeling? Real bent. You wanna know what's more important than crying over mine? Credit. Financial freedom, my biggest hope. Forget living rich and dying broke. You know, I feel like we have these negative ideologies to money. You know, words like filthy rich or, you know, money is the root of all evil. And I feel like we need to change our mentality. Money is just energy.
If you concentrate on money, you get money. But of course the societies and the way we teach our children disengages them from money. It disengages them from having wealth because we teach our kids, hey, it's not okay to be wealthy. You know, the meek will inherit the earth. The God force doesn't want you to be wealthy. It just wants you to be this little thing and being terribly poor and being terribly thankful for the little itty-bitty that you got, you know? The world that we live in is just owned by a few people. You know, let's say 500, 1,000 families own the entire world, okay? And they also own the governments, they own the societies, they own the banking systems, they own all the financial institutions. The way that the system is designed is that if you work really, really hard, it will spit out just enough cash to keep you just above what I call the revolution level. Where my way is, you can become wealthy and then allow everybody else through your wealth to become even richer, even richer, even richer, even richer.
Let me see if I can explain this, man. People want to know, you know, about God Family Nation. Is it an organization? No. Is it something you can join? Nah. God Family Nation is a way of life. First, God made the family. Family made the nation. Take this concept and embrace it. Let's see how far we can take it. We can make it to the other side. To see our brothers rise, receive the prize and the love that comes in the mother's eyes. Z-I-O-N. Can I go in? What I'm asking my Messiah on judgment when my life ends. It's G of N. from my soul to my skin. From young to old men, how many souls can we win? This been the mission. The word of God is my equipment. This song, the hook, so if you listening, then I'm fishing. Make your decision. I hope to God that we get it. I'm speaking to my people, have my partners think I'm tripping. His grace sufficient. Just having faith can make the difference. Take it day by day and be consistent. Self-examination, patience, praying while we waiting. GFN is more than just a statement. It's God Family Nation. Yeah, it's God Family Nation. Yeah, it's God Family Nation. Yeah, it's God Family Nation.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. We back. God Family Nation, we ain't have a podcast in a minute. We back, we here, and we got Royal Scepter of Yeshaya here with us, man. We got Brother Benaiah here. What's up, man? Say what's up to the people, bro.
Hey, shalom. Shalom. How's everybody doing?
Oh, he got the beach behind him. All right.
Yeah.
Nice. We got Brother Ibar in here. What's up, my brother? Introduce yourself, man, to the people.
Shalom, Brother Ibar. You know, just tuning in. All praise to the Most High for this. And thank y'all, brother, for inviting us.
Oh, man, all praise, man. Hey, man, podcast to podcast, man. Podcasts got to stick together. You know what I mean? We got to stick together.
Unite, that's one.
Hey, man, trying to tell people, man. And we got Brother Akmayan in the building, man. I know he out there moving and grooving. But just say hello to the people, man.
Shalom. How everybody doing, y'all?
What it do? Got Adawam in the building. Adam, the man. Say what's up to the people, man. Shalom. He probably moving and grooving out there. But Anayan, what's up, man? Say shalom to the people, my brother.
Shalom, y'all. I just got back in the house, so I'm gonna be listening in for right now.
All right.
Shalom. Nice to see everybody be on the same platform. I hope y'all can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Traffic a little bit, pulling over now. But hey, it's a blessing to be a part of this podcast and a blessing to be a part of the brethren doing the work for the Most High.
All praise to the Most High, man. My brother. And then we got Tyler Locke, man. My brother from another mother out there in VA holding it down. Say what's up to the people, all right?
Shalom, people. What's going on?
Wow, we in here. So we back, we live in effect. So tonight we got an important, podcast, an important message, and things that's very, very, very important to the world, and we're gonna be talking about charity. We're going to be talking about the Children Bread ministry that we have. We're going to be talking about poverty. We're going to be talking about topics that most people don't want us to talk about. They don't want us to talk about this. When they hear melanated man talk about this, with authority and things like that, the powers that be get afraid, because this is something that's very, that's like we are like the song we played earlier. It's just a small amount of families that run the world, small amount of rich families that run the world, and if the money was dealt out righteously, everybody would be millionaires. And I find that interesting. So I want to read this scripture real quick. So this 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8. And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins. All right. So if we have charity amongst ourselves, like if we doing charity, we come together on an organized tip and have charity amongst ourselves, we can put a dent in this poverty situation that's around the world that shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't even be happening. All right. So, but the key thing, if we come together, we have to come together and really do that. We have to come together. But now we're dealing with so much separation, so much division that we don't even want to come together and do this work. And Brother Bernard, you were speaking about something earlier, man, about how like you feel like the charity, aspect, regardless of our different, doctrines, our different, whatever disagreements we may have, one thing that we should all agree on is the poor. Can you elaborate on that, my brother?
Well, it's bigger than that, because the thing is, a lot of us claim to believe on Christ. And okay, yeah, that's fine. That's great. We believe on Christ. We should do that. But when we believe on Christ, it's a certain standard that we have to hold ourselves to. And that standard is, love, is charity. And we allow small things. We strain at a net and we swallow it, a camel, man. We allow small things to really divide us, when we really should be building on the things that we agree with, especially if we believe in Christ. We claiming to believe in Christ, we should all stand on that foundation and build on it together. So that's what I was saying, That's the gist of what I was trying to say.
No, right on, no, right on. I mean, we can argue about this and that, but one thing, if like you said, if we saying we in Christ, then one thing that we should agree on is that love aspect when it comes to what we need to be doing out here for our communities, what we need to be doing out here for for the future generation, the things that we need to be setting examples for. I'm saying? All that doctrinal differences, we can do that all night. I'm saying? Hey. It don't matter, but that's not gonna fix our neighborhoods. That's not gonna fix the poverty that's out here.
Right.
I'm saying?
And eventually, all of us, we claim to believe on Christ. So if we all believe on Christ, regardless of our differences, the closer it get to Christ returning, the more we're going to begin to come together with understanding. All of that stuff going to happen. We just got to operate in the love. That's what we require to do.
Facts, man.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah, anybody can chime in, anytime, man. Y'all, man, this open discussion about, about our, charity ministry that we have, and just trying to spark the minds of others to do the same thing that we're doing, So now, like we out here in East Africa. All right, and our goal is we starting in the poorest continent, and we're gonna work our way on throughout the world. You know what I'm saying? Most High willing, and brothers wanna, if it'll be a beautiful thing if everybody can in the world can just work together and fix the issue, you know. But you know, it's not as important to people. You know, certain things is not important to people, you know. But for those who want to fix the world, you know, want to help the world, you know what I'm saying, link in with us, you know what I'm saying? Because we on the mission. We on a mission, you know, and we right here in East Africa first, and we gonna do this work in Tanzania, in Kenya, in Uganda, and Rwanda, Rwanda, and Burundi, you know what I'm saying? All everywhere we working, you know. Then we gonna link in, because like this is bigger than all of us. This is big, you know. This is things that I can't even fathom. Nobody can fathom, because some things we're not even gonna understand until later on, you know. So, and for those who, you know, understand about Israel going back into the wilderness and everything, you know, I just, you know, one of the things that's going to help us getting there is us finding common ground and building on those things, you know, which should be the charity thing first and foremost, like for real. So before if anybody ain't got nothing to say right now, I'm gonna show this video. But if anybody got something to say, just let me know. We can, before I show this video real quick, I'm gonna show this video about the poorest country in the world. All right, I'm gonna play this.
That's not a name many people might have heard of.
Can y'all hear this?
Burundi.
Yeah, we can.
It's not a name many people
Loud
have
and
heard of.
clear.
In fact, not many people know a lot of countries in Africa, and it would not be surprising to say that you also might not have heard of a country called Burundi. Even for those of you who might have heard of it, it is because of one thing only, and that is because many now arguably call it the poorest country in Africa. The why. You see, the GDP of Burundi is $3.2 billion. You may think that sounds a lot, but when you compare that even with a country like Malawi, whose GDP is $11 billion, you will understand what I mean. Of course, when you even compare that with the three biggest economies in Africa, like Nigeria, Egypt, and South Africa, with GDP of $423, $361, and $301 billion respectively, you will begin to get the full picture. So in this video, we will discuss why Burundi is so poor right now. Landlocked and situated in Africa's Great Lakes region, Burundi is one of the continent's smallest nations. Green and fertile, it is nevertheless one of the three poorest countries in the world, with 75% of its population living below the poverty line, and this is expected to reach 87% soon. Burundi's GDP per capita is also the lowest in the world at just $271. To be fair, this country has 69% of its main export in coffee and 26% in tea, and it is obvious why subsistence farmers make up 90% of the population. As a landlocked country that also lacks resources and has almost non-existent industrialization except for the very few ones for processing coffee and tea, and no diversification in the economy, you will start to notice the problem with Burundi. Oh, and actually, although with maintenance problems, more than nearly 80% of the national roads are paved, despite many inaccuracies that is only 12%. However, some localities that are strategic economically are still difficult to reach. Many roads were spoiled during the war. What does this mean? I will tell you now. No country has ever prospered in violence or war, and just like its neighbor Rwanda, Burundi has had its share of troubles. In 1972, a failed Hutu-led uprising against the Tutsi-dominated leadership sparked a wave of massacres of Hutus that left between 100,000 and 300,000 dead. Again, in 1988, new massacres of Hutu left between 5,000 and 50,000 dead. The assassination in 1993 of the first Hutu president, Melchior Ndadaye, in a coup fomented by Tutsi soldiers, triggered a civil war between the Tutsi-dominated army and Hutu rebels. Thousands of Tutsi were massacred after the assassination.
All right, so now Burundi, like, and we out here in East Africa. So, and you know, a lot of people always say, follow the money, follow the money, follow the money. But if you go the opposite way of following the money, you might can find out some truth. All right, you might can find out what's really going on if you go in the opposite way of where the money is at. All right, so they say Burundi is one of the poorest, is actually the poorest country in the world. But at the same time, it's fertile there. They have natural resources there. They got tea there. They got coffee there. They got plenty of land there. You know, all these things there. But why is it the poorest country in the world, and actually the poorest country in Africa? You know, so it's like, I see the diabolical plot. You know, I see the diabolical plot. Anybody want to chime in and just, you know, get an aspect on why is Burundi the poorest country in the world? Why is it the poorest country in the world out here?
I don't know. Maybe, you know, a lot of people be ignorant to these, how should I put it? A lot of people be ignorant to the nations that's around us.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a lot of them came in and milked them for what they worth and left them dry, you know? That's just my opinion, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting, man. It's interesting. And the thing is that it's enough money out in this world to fix Burundi problem, to fix their problem, you know, to fix the problem. But the question is, why isn't these problems fixed? You know, that's the thing.
Bro, I really think, man, we dealing with madness and astonishment of heart when it comes to, you know, when it comes to the curses. And I'm saying that because with all of the natural resources, you know, that we possess in these countries in which we, you know, the Most High gave us to, you know, to be in temporarily or whatever. With all of these natural resources, we don't understand how to wheel and deal on a world level. And I think that got to do with the curses. You know, curse shall be our basket and our store. We don't understand how to deal on a world level, you know? And then we got brothers who greedy, who looking at money and saying, okay, this is something. This money right here, okay, this is something. Yeah, that money ain't nothing really. You trading away the things that are of value for, you know, something you can go print in your backyard all day long. You know, so I think it's that, man. I think we got a low self-esteem as a people. We feel as though other nations, other races of people are greater than us. We don't value what the Most High put in us. You know, we dealing with those things. That's what's wrong with us. And that's why Burundi, I believe, is poor.
Yeah. It's a lot of children in Israel over there, you know. It's definitely, you know, that area is fertile, and you know, it's a lot of children in Israel over there. And like you said, them curses, like you said, people say follow the money, but if you go the opposite way, you can
Follow the
see
curses, yeah.
exactly. You can see where
Yeah.
God's children is at. You can see what
Yeah.
you can see where it's at. Now we out here in East Africa putting in this work. You know what I'm saying? We got upcoming events. You know, out here in Kenya, we got a talent show at a children's home called Safe House, Loving Hands Safe House Children's Home. And you know, we're gonna try to see, we want to see what the talent that the children have. You know, we're gonna I'm gonna show some talent. A couple of the brothers out here, we're gonna show some talent, you know, to the children too. We're gonna feast with them, have a good time, you know, and just hope that not only just eating with them and you know, and then you know, giving them support financially and things like that, but also just having that hope, that memory stuck in them, you know, having that experience stuck with them for life, you know, because food come and go, money come and go, you know what I'm saying, but experience will always stay with a person, you know. So we got an upcoming event next Sunday, July the 9th, you know, and then the brothers out there in Tanzania gotta tell them about the event y'all got, but now you're coming up.
Oh yeah, we be going to Salama Children's Orphanage. Salama Children's Orphanage. They're a fairly new orphanage. I think they've been open just only a year. And you know, the brother over there, the overseer, I forget the brother's name. But y'all can see him on the video that we have out there on we got it on the GFN website, YouTube site, and we also have it on the Royal Scepter YouTube site. We have a video out there, and the brother, you know, he's new. He's fairly new to actually opening an orphanage and dealing with children and things of that sort, but he's moving he's moving pretty fast, man. He getting things built up. He got a building in the back where he can actually house way more children than what they have. The children that they have right now are between the ages of 3 and 15. It's only 20 of them. And July 16th, we'll be doing an event with them. We'll be going to the beach. We'll take the children to the beach and we're gonna feed them. You know, we're gonna provide all the things that we can, you know, through the resources that we've gained by ourselves and also through maybe some donations that we've gained. And you know, we're gonna try to actually show them and give them, you know, an example that, you know, that the world, everybody in the world ain't disregarding you. You know, there's some people who actually thinking about you in the world. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Nah, definitely.
It could be the
man.
Father's will. Yeah.
Definitely, man. All praise to the Most High, you know. And shout out to the people who donate, who've been donating. You know, it's people that we don't even know. You know, it's people that we do know. You know, we donated ourselves. You know, just shout out to everybody that's, you know, that's donating. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. And all this is going straight towards the work. That's why we put the videos out there. That's why we trying to like, this is what we really, you know, we really about this. We really about this life. You know, like we really trying to show our people this is an important aspect of Christ's ministry. You know, like you can't, you know, I'm gonna get into the questions. Let's get into the questions. So let me ask you this question, but now I'm gonna go around the whole table. What is charity to you? Give me your definition. What is charity to you, my brother?
Before now, and see, now I'm glad you said it that way. Before I understood the scriptures, before I understood the word, charity was just giving, you know, some of what I had to people, right? But now that I understand the scriptures, charity is actually, it surpasses all of that, bro. It's actually the love. You know, it ain't that you giving to somebody because you feel like, okay, I should, or no thing like that, or doing things for people. And it ain't just giving. It's like doing things, like giving, sacrificing yourself. You know, and it ain't just because of, you know, you want something in return. It's just because you know, you want people to, you know, be comfortable. You know, so to me, that's what charity is. Now to others, it may be something different, but to me, that's what it is. It's deeper than just donations and things of that sort. It's deeper than that. Because I can see a brother, I can see a sister walking up the street, and she may not, or a brother or a sister, either one. And they might not be able to, you know, make it because they may be tired or something might, and I'm like, dang, they tired. Let me go and help them out, you know, or whatever. It could be anything. Or if I see somebody with a flat tire and I pull up and help them out fixing their tire because I can, you know, just things of that sort, man. Just, you know, being selfless and looking out for your brothers and loving your brothers like you would love yourself, your brothers and sisters like you love yourself. To me, that's what charity is.
Nah, yeah, love that neighbor as your and as thyself. You know, very important, man. What you're saying is very important because most people it's like it's easy, and I'm saying we appreciate the donations, we appreciate things like that, but it's easy to donate. It's easy to donate. You know, most people tend to donate to causes that they feel, you know, that they feel like they should donate to. And there's nothing wrong with that. Those things are important. But it's another thing, like Brother Benaya was saying, it's another thing with sacrificing yourself, sacrificing your time, you know, to go help somebody out, you know, like you see a brother on the side of the road need a change of tire, you know, and you sacrifice your time, whatever you was doing, you know, to go help that, you know, you sacrifice your time. Like, you know, when we go into these children homes, we sacrificing our time. You know, we there, you know, at the events, we there for, you know, like 5, 6, 7 hours, you know, putting in work, you know, there and everything. Like, so it's more to it than just donating. And, you know, it's really like, if you put an effort into charity, most people don't put no effort into it. You know what I'm saying? They just, I can sit in that. I can just put an effort. Let me think this out. Let's do this together. You know, let's prepare this. Let's prepare some sandwiches. Let's cook. Let's do this. You know, put in the time, put in the effort in it. Is deeper. You know, charity is very deep. So, brother Abar, man, tell him, man, give me your perspective, bro. Brother Abar, what is charity to you? What's your definition?
Like the Agbenaya said, like in the world, you know, we thought it was, you know, given to some unknown place or whatever, you know. In the world, we was taught something different than what it was. But like the Ak was saying, coming in its truth, we learned what charity really supposed to be. And like y'all was saying a lot of stuff that made a whole lot of sense, like effort and time, you know. But me personally, I say like unselfishness, genuine love for sure. You know, it's just sacrificing what you have to help others. Like the scriptures tell us, bear you one another's burden, like Al-Qur'an was saying. You see somebody with a flat tire, go bear that burden with them, help them, you know, that person, you know, who can't make it a mile, walk that extra mile with, you know, it's just charity, you know, bearing each other's burden, being unselfish. You know, like I was saying, donating y'all time, you know, like technically we really ain't got much to do, especially here in Babylon. All we do is slave, you know, might as well go help somebody out, you know. And I don't know, like Christ gave us some examples of charity too, like visiting the sick and those in prison and stuff like that. It's a lot of charity, ways of showing charity, you know, and you know, being tender, not no soft punk stuff, you know what I'm saying, but you know, just just being open to helping people, you know, loving, affectionate. I don't know. That's about it. That's all I really got right now.
Mm-hmm. Now I can dig it. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, man. And that's another thing too. You know, we get wrapped up into dealing with our certain little groups that we deal with, our camps and our churches and things of that sort. And we don't show that tenderness towards brothers and sisters. We don't show that love towards other brothers and sisters who we know in Christ. We know they operate and doing what they can do, you know, to the best of their ability in righteousness, right? But we look at it as, okay, my elders didn't tell me to deal with you, or my pastor ain't tell me to go deal with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Well, what Christ tell you to do? What the word tell you? The word didn't tell you that. You know, and see, that's where a lot of the division come from amongst us, and that's where we stunt our growth at, because we can actually build and go higher. And actually, man, listen, bro, Christ said he would have been came and delivered us. You know what I'm saying? But it's the fact that we don't want to cleanse the inside of ourselves and actually begin to deal with each other. We want to keep pointing the finger at everybody else and saying this you. But we really need to look within and actually cleanse ourselves and start dealing with each other. And then that's how we gonna build. I ain't got it all. Ibar ain't got it all. Palau ain't got it all. None of us got it all. But guess what? We got enough love in Christ that we can actually come together and lock arms and build something for our nation. And that's what we lacking as a whole.
Right. That's why we can't get another Black Wall Street, you know, you know, things like that, man. You know, like, you know, they didn't condition us so much that they ain't even gotta do that no more. You know what I'm saying? You can go ahead, Tazalot. Go ahead, Ak.
Yeah, man. Everything y'all saying, man, right on point. You know, I just want to chime in and say this, man, you know, off the back end what Benaiah was saying, because it's a shame, right, that we be having all these difficulties working together, and we be, for the most part, on the same type of time, like we in the same book, you feel me? But then we'll turn right around and go outside and be, you know, going to get money with people and going to, you know, deal with, like, you know, economic and commercial affairs with atheists, Satanists, and, you know what I mean, all types of, like, homosexuals, you know, like, and when you operate in the world, you don't get to choose who you get to rock with, you know, when it comes to making that, you're working for Amazon or, you know, working for Purdue or wherever, you know what I'm saying? You go in that building and y'all common goal is to make the money for the company. So you don't get to say, well, look, that's all good, but I don't agree with this person, so I can't stand next to him and put the packaging on the chicken and things of that nature. So it's crazy to me how we be in these situations where we really had, you know, and we could just quit. Like, we could just go home and be like, you know what, I stand on what I stand on. I'm not working next to that person like that. I stand on this business, you know what I'm saying? And that's not what people generally do. Generally, people are gonna long suffer, and they're gonna just be like, man, I gotta do what I gotta do, right? So in a circumstance where we operating with people of like-mindedness, for the most part, we may have, like, you know, slight differences or whatever, but like-mindedness for the most part, it be the smallest thing and we'll fall out, or we can't work together on something that's cohesive because of whatever this difference is. And it don't make sense to me. Like, it don't mind boggles me every day, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, at the end of the day, whatever our belief system is, we all part of the same, you know what I mean, army. At the end of the day, like, we know what we talking about. Like, we about to go into the Black Panther joint. Like, yeah, it's one army. So, like, and at the lowest form, like, when you talking about strategic warfare, like, you could be at war with your neighboring country, but if a country come to war with y'all collectively, then the strategic thing to do is to join forces. Like, y'all can get back to that when y'all done.
That's facts, bro. Cause
like we can't even do that at this point. So I just wanted to point that out. But man, my definition, or, you know, the definition that I think that covers charity overall, man, is like, it's just a higher form of love, man. You know, it's selfless love, man. It's going beyond think about your own personal goals, your own personal gain. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm gonna have to take a quote from the brother Paul, you know what I'm saying? Because this was some legit thing he said. He was you know, he said prophecy may fail, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna quote it, you know, 100%, but you know, several things will fail, but love don't fail, charity don't fail. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing right there. So like, you could count on like your love for your neighbor, you know what I'm saying, covering, you know, love cover multitude of sins. So, you know, all the things we going through and all the things we've been through, you best believe that if you got that sincere love, man, like, you know, that's most likely why you know, you may you know, be able to get out of certain things that don't seem like they are obtainable, you know what I'm saying? Or it may look like you got the cheat code or whatever. But that's all I wanted to say.
Nah, facts, bro. Nah, real talk, man. You know, we so divided in the night. I'm gonna get to you, and you know, we so divided, you know, that we out here, like at the end of the day, what's crazy is we divided on certain things, but yet they still killing us. They still killing us. They still, you know, our people still hungry. Our people still poor. Our people still, you know, in certain situations, healthcare situations, you know, and all of that. But yet we can't come together, you know, despite our differences, we can't come together and fight the problem, you know, fight the powers that be. You know, we can't come together and do that, you know, because of a difference, you know, because you do it this way, I do it that way. But they shooting at both of us. I don't care if you do it this way, I don't care if you do it left and I do it right. They shooting at us. You know what I'm saying? Let's solve the issue. Like, but Anaya, what's good with you? What you got going?
Shalom. Yeah, a few of y'all spoke to what I wanted to actually speak to. I would say charity is love, right? But it's a love that comes with edification or building. So pretty much charity, I would consider it the same thing as nationhood or nation building. It's the opposite of the crab in the bucket or crab in a barrel mentality. Instead of, you know, pulling one another down every time you see somebody about to get out, no, you help that brother get out, and then eventually he come back and pull you out once he had made it out. I got a few scriptures that I wanted to go to also. Hold on one second. The first scripture I'm going to is Peter chapter 4, verse 8. 1 Peter 4 and 8. It says, above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover a multitude of sins. Verse 9, use hospitality one to another without grudging. So that's another thing. You're not really dealing in the spirit of charity if you have a grudge when you're actually so-called, you know, doing charitable things. So if this is something that you see it as a burden to yourself, then that's not real charity. Real charity is you actually wanting to give to the poor, or you wanting to, you know, dedicate your time to the poor or to the less fortunate, to the widows, you know, to the elderly and things like that, right? Also notice that it said charity covereth a multitude of sins. So this show that when you show charity, it's not just for the people that you're helping, it's also for yourself. You covering your own sins as well, even though that's not the sole purpose of why you should be doing it, because at that point it becomes about you and not about the people and doing the work of the Most High. I'm gonna go to Matthew 6 and 19 through 20. It says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break in, and where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through, nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So that's another thing. Like, one good thing about charity is that, you know, you laying up your treasures in heaven. The Most High see that as a very honorable thing to do, to give to the less fortunate, right? And we're gonna go to Tobit to show that. This Tobit chapter 4, verse 7 through 11. It says, give alms of thy substance And when thou givest alms, let not thy eye be envious, neither turn thy face from any poor, and the face of the Most High shall not be turned away from thee. So remember, Christ said, I was in jail and ye visited me not. I was or I was in prison, you visited me not. I was hungry and you gave me not food. And this is a good precept for that, because this is showing that when you turn your face away from the poor, especially the righteous poor, the Most High turn his face away from you. So what do you think will happen if you don't turn your face away from the poor? The Most High not going to turn his face away from you. Verse 8, if thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly. If thou have but a little, be not afraid to give according to that little. So it's not even about having a lot. You can always make a budget to where, you know, you could take a certain amount of your dividends, or, you know, however much you get paid a week or a month, and you can set that aside to give, you know, to the poor or to give to the needy, right? Verse 9, for thou layest up good treasure for thyself against the day of necessity. So once again, covering the multitude of sins. 10, because that alms do deliver from death, and suffereth not to come into darkness. For alms is a good gift unto all that give in the sight of the Most High. So once again, alms giving, or, you know, charity is not just for the people you're giving to, but it's also for yourself. So you do a great service to those that you give to, and you do a great service to yourself when you give to those who are less fortunate.
Right on, bro. Them scriptures hit. Them scriptures hit, man. Right on. Anybody else want to add onto the question? What is charity to you? Like, what's your definition? Before I move on to the other questions.
Yeah. I mean, Brother Adawan, I would like to say, you know, that charity, you know, based on what, you know, everybody's definition is, it basically boils down to being love. And we know that charity is love, you know, and you use the scripture in Matthew 22, where to love thy neighbor as thyself. You took that right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was thinking. But, you know, I say that to sum it all up, charity is helping to meet the needs of others, you know, and that it don't matter what that need might be. You know, like Brother Ben said, it could be as simple as helping the brother change a tire. To somebody else, it could be helping the poor. You know, it could be feeding them, clothing them, housing them. You know, it boils down to basically helping to meet the needs of others, whatever that need might be. And then I like to, you know, close out that with 1 John chapter 3, verse 17. But whoso hath this world's goods and seeth his brother have need, and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of the Most High in him? So we know that the Most High, you know, his plan and his purpose is for us to have all things that we need pertaining to this life, or pertaining to life and godliness, right? So if we see that we have the things that our brother needs, then we should have the spirit in us to say, love thy brother or thy neighbor as thyself. That means that if I have it, I know what it feels like to be without it. So I should be able to have compassion with this brother to know that how he's feeling if he's without, or this sister if she's without. So that means if I have it, I should be able to share it, you know? And so it boils down to, like I said, helping to meet the needs of others, whatever that need may be. And I close with that.
No, right on, man. Powerful, man. Y'all saying some powerful things. You know, I hope this is sparking the mind of brothers and sisters. You know, I just want to read some of our core values, you know, and Brother Adawan, he was kind of, you know, he was kind of saying a couple of them. But our core values as an NGO, as a charity ministry, which we are, is to combat against poverty. And just to do as much charities work as we can. Different walks of people coming together, different, you know, we may have maybe different understandings, whatever, but we all agree on Christ. And different of us coming together to make a better society. That's powerful. That's powerful. To help those in need in their time of crisis, to do what we can to feed the hunger, clothe those in need, provide the basic necessities for for the orphanages that we tending to, and helping the elderly. You know, these things are important. You know, these are our core values and more values that we didn't written down. It just, we already know what they are. So just to put that out there, this is important, and it's important to Christ. So I want to go with this question. And anybody can chime in first. Can you consider yourself a true Christian if you are not, you know, doing any charity work, if you're not a part of a charity organization, or if you're not making any effort to do any charity work, you know, can you consider yourself a true Christian?
I would say no, you know, and that's because we already know that charity is love, you know, and, you know, how can you say, you know, that you have the love of Christ if you're not helping to meet the needs of others, you know? I mean, we're supposed to be examples of Christ. And, you know, he said, you know, that by this will all men know that you are my disciples, when you have love one toward another.
All right, nah, right on. Anybody else can? What's your opinion? Can you consider yourself a true Christian if you are not, you know, a part of a charity organization, or if you are not putting forth any effort to do any charity work? Can you consider yourself a true Christian?
I would say this. I would say you don't have to be a part of a charity organization. Nah, you can still call yourself a true Christian. You don't have to be a part of an organization, but you do have to do those things that Christ told us in Matthew, the 25th chapter, right? He said, if you ain't clothed them, you ain't gave them drink, you understand, those things of that sort, you ain't fit for the kingdom, basically. That's what Christ was telling us. So I'm gonna read James. This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 27, right? Because the question is, can you consider yourself a true Christian if you don't do charity work? So James 1:27, and it reads, it says, pure religion and undefiled before the Most High and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. So, and you know, so you got some people who may be fitting the bill when it comes to visiting the fatherless and the widow and taking care of them and things of that sort, but they're not keeping themselves unspotted from the world. They don't qualify either, right? But then you may have some who are keeping themselves, trying to keep themselves unspotted from the world, but they ain't doing these other things, right? So no, I would say no. I would say no, you can't call yourself a true Christian, you know, if, you know, you don't want to get out here and actually help the people, those in need that Christ already required that we help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, right. Hey, that's right on, bro. Right on. You know, like you're not following the laws if you're not doing charity work. And if you're not, you know, and then on top of that, you have to, you know, like, you can't just do charity work either without following the laws. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not going to work, because you can't just be doing charity work and then you just living a life of sin. You know what I'm saying? Then what you covering, then you sinning right after you covering, and you're gonna have to do a lot of covering, and but you keep on saying you just got crazy, you on a roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna go crazy. You go, man, but like it's right. You cannot say you following the law if you're not doing any charity work. You know, it's an oxymoron. All right, so anybody else want to answer this question? Can you consider yourself a true Christian if you are not a part of any charity organization, or if you're not making any effort to do any charity work? Can you consider yourself a true Christian?
I mean, I would say, since you asked the question that way about not even trying, And then no, not at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's
Yeah,
all
like
about,
a true effort, make a true effort. Yeah.
yeah, it's all about your intentions. Now, you know, for those of y'all who may, you know, like certain scriptures that we just read never hit y'all that way before, or y'all never thought about charity the way y'all might be thinking about it now. Now you have a time because the opportunity have presented itself. So now you know it's it's another level of righteousness that you need to meet, which is given to the less fortunate. So at that point now it's up to you. Now that you know what I'm saying, you're no longer ignorant to the fact that charity is a big part of Christ's ministry. But to answer your question, I would say if you're not even trying, then the answer is no.
Yeah, we gotta be able to, you know, as Christians, we gotta be able to put an effort in, you know, to doing it. Even if you're doing it yourself, you just like, you know, once a week, I'm gonna, you know, go, you know, donate this to this specific organization, or I'm gonna go to this children's home and donate this, or I'm gonna go to this group home, or I'm gonna go to this homeless home. I'm gonna go to, you know what I'm saying, you know what, you know, me and my friends, you know, once a month we hand out, you know, sandwiches, you know what I'm saying, to the homeless, you know, like if, you know, you gotta make it an effort. Now, when I say make it an effort, like, you gotta make it like, you know, like, okay, this is something I need to do, this is something I wanna do, you know, let me try to make an effort with doing this. Let me try to do a little strategizing with it. Let me try to, you know, like, you know, put an effort into it. We put effort into so much other things, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's nothing for us to put, but the thing is, I feel like we get content, you know, even with Christians, we get so content. We think, oh yeah, the blood of Jesus is gonna save and I'm gonna get to the kid. Or we get Israelites, we just, I'm an Israelite, I'm gonna keep these commandments, you know, I'm all these commandments, you know, but ain't even giving to the poor, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like we backwards, you know what I'm saying? And I blame our enemy, but at the same time, I gotta blame ourselves. You know, we get into this truth, we still backwards. Like they used to say in the streets, you hustling backwards. We get into this truth and we hustling backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Go ahead, Anaya.
No, I just wanted to say too, you know, I know it's people that don't, you know, agree with paying tithes anymore, right? Then you got other people who they might not be a part of an organization. So they're tithing, but they have nowhere for those tithes to go to. They basically just have an envelope with, you know, they money they put in every week, they get paid or whatever, right? So it'd be a great idea, you know what I'm saying, to set that money to the side to actually help out the less fortunate. Because one of the sole purposes, I'm not gonna say that, don't even make sense. One of the purposes of tithes was to actually be donations for the actual poor, when you read, and I think it's in Leviticus, if I'm not mistaken. So that's one thing you can do.
No, right on, bro. Right on. All right, so anybody else want to answer this question? Can you consider yourself a true Christian if you're not a part of a charity organization, or you're not making the effort to do any charity work? Can you consider yourself a true Christian? A true Christian?
I say no, especially like the Ox said, especially if we're not putting forth an effort. Like a lot of people have these world's riches and just so selfish. And a lot of times people will donate to these charity organizations if it's like a tax write-off. So they'll do it just to receive a reward back, instead of just doing it out the kindness of their heart. So that's not Christ-like at all. So if you're not doing it with a genuine heart and all that, you're not no real Christian. I'm gonna read the scripture, Luke 14:12, and it goes into basically talking about being a feast, and Christ gave an example of this feast. It say, verse 12, it say, then said he also to him that bade him, when thou makest a dinner or a supper, call not thy friends, nor thy brethren, neither thy kinsmen, nor thy rich neighbors, lest they also bid thee again, and a recompense he made thee. But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and thou shalt be blessed, for they cannot recompense thee, for thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. So the reason why I went there is just to show, like, we can do this work without looking for a reward from somebody. Just do it out the kindness of your heart. Because at the end of the day, our rewards, we store our treasures up in heaven, not here on earth. So we really trying to make it to this kingdom. And our works here on earth is our way to that kingdom. Not saying we just doing it just to get a spot in the kingdom. Like, a lot of us really do care about this stuff. A lot of us really do want to do this stuff in a righteous way, and just being unselfish. Like I was saying earlier, just being tender and all that stuff. Like, a lot of us really do care about that. But like I say, you get a lot of rich people, like he was just saying right here, when Christ said, don't ask the rich person to come. Like, a lot of these rich people, they have that stuff and they don't do it unless they can get a tax write-off and stuff. Like, even a lot of these churches that call themselves Christ-like, they do that stuff because it's a tax write-off or whatever. You know, they get their rewards from whoever. Like, I wouldn't say you're a Christian if you're doing this stuff for a reward. I'll just say that.
Yeah, you're right too. Because you know, they're a church and they giving charity. That don't mean they doing it from the heart. That don't mean they doing it. That don't mean they really trying to fight, fight that war. They not, if it wasn't for that write-off, they probably wouldn't even do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care about man, trust and believe, these churches make more money than you think, and they have money to make a difference in their community. Don't get me started out this Jane, because I like this Jane is really, it's really crazy. It's really crazy. It's really crazy how the system is set up, and it's set up. And at the end of the day, they got these churches, they got these businesses, they got all these things saying they writing off, we donate to the Red Cross, the Red Cross make more money than anybody I know in the hood. The Red Cross ain't where I'm from handling business. They ain't where I'm from doing, they ain't in the projects. Man, we just lost some projects. People out of homes right now. People got to go shack up in other projects now. People got to, they sending people to, giving people vouchers, sending people to, to the counties and things like that. This Jennifer, what would they call it?
The regentrification or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. They doing, and the further we go out to the counties, the further the rich people go further out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but talking like, go ahead, Art.
Yeah, man. I was just gonna chime in on the end of which I was saying, because like you said, man, people get into this walk and they start hustling backwards. And I'm not saying that, obviously you're supposed to do this from the heart, but it make it look even more crazy that you incentivize to do it and people don't do it. You feel what I'm saying? Cause like, that means you ain't about your business and you ain't about this walk. Like, that's double. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I could respect it to a degree with people who, see the capitalization of it and they do it, because at the end of the day, you're still doing it. You know what I'm saying? We ain't the ones, like, at the end of the day, like, the Most High gonna judge everybody's heart. You know what I'm saying? So, for whatever their purpose is, that's their issue. You gotta take that up with the big man. But they, at the end of the day, people are out here doing donations for whatever their reason is, and they doing charity work for whatever their reason is. So, like, if you out here not doing it at all, like, you tripping. You tripping.
Yeah, because even
I'm like, dang, like you can capitalize on it, and you still, like, so you not only selfish, you stupid. you know what I'm saying? So
at least the rich people capitalizing off you,
they know that much,
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
That's a true slugger. Bro.
Yeah, man. That's really like that's really backwards, you know. And it's a shame. Like you say, we got churches on every corner, you know, but we got poverty everywhere. Like you could like some of these neighborhoods, you know, Richmond, Philadelphia, Detroit, the whole entire block be full of trash and filthiness, and then the church lawn be manicured to the T. Like, you know, they got the nice gate up. You got, you know, they got grass. Like, you know, before I became a landscaper, I didn't know that there was a separation from grass and weeds and all. I just thought, as long as that jank green, you good money. No, they ain't got just greenery. They got like tall fescue, you know, cut to 2.5 inches. You know, and then right next door, they ain't got no grass. You know what I'm saying? They got broken windows. They got vandalized situations. They got trash all over the place. And it's like, you're right, bro. Like it's so much money in circulation out here. Like it's absolutely no reason for, you know, the circumstances to be the way they are. And it's just that, you know, the people aren't, you know, taking this serious. And then like, even when it comes to the walk, like, bro, all of these camps out here that been operating for 10, 20 plus years, they should be ashamed of themselves. Because, you know, when you come into this walk, man, like, bro, these people been around all these years. Why people aren't getting houses? Why they not like actually and this is something that we're gonna
why
try
they
to
ain't buying neighborhood? Why they ain't buying project? Why they ain't buying project? Why they
right? Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the Children's Bread and GFN and Roy Acceptance, Yeshaya, like we're as a unit, we're gonna try to make it so that when you come into our community, you can exit whatever world job you got. You know what I'm saying? You can exit dealing with, you know, working on the side, because you're not just coming into an organization, you coming into an institution. You come into a situation where, you know what I'm saying, we're not just saying, brother, you know, we love you with the love of God. No, we love you economically too. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get everybody right, include ourselves. So like, I can't see how these people have been operating 20 plus years. They don't got no land. They don't got no, like, they should have a community where, like, you know, they should at least have a community garden. Like, why these churches don't have community gardens right next to the church? Like, why y'all ain't buy a grocery store yet in the hood? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Boy.
why people coming to the walk and they still gotta go punch that clock every and you wondering like, well, brother, you know, you should have more faith. You should take off time on the Sabbath. You know, if you lose your job, like, you know, not why you ain't got no job for me?
But yeah,
like,
you want my tag, you want my tags though.
Yeah, y'all want the collection of the saints, you know what I'm saying? But what y'all been doing all this time? Like, you know, you can't tell me, man, that y'all ain't got it, bro. Like, that's why, you know, although I don't agree with everything he's doing, Pastor Dow is probably the only situation that I see that's applying, you know, certain things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely salute and respect, you know, that aspect of that ministry, man, because they really put it together. Like, them folks that come out, help you put your homestead together. Whoever your leader is, you know what I'm saying? He'll be like, look, this is what you got to do. Here's the blueprint. And then y'all have at it. He not coming to try to take over. He not coming to try to, like, run your stuff. He just trying to help you put your stuff together and y'all take care of it. Y'all destroy it, y'all did it. And I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's no matter what people saying, that's action. Like, that's a serious action. You know, like, people could talk to their, you know, to their face turn blue. But what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Facts, man. Man, that's real talk, man. Let me ask you this question, bro. Before you I'm gonna ask you this question. Because I'm gonna ask this question and we're gonna move on to the Black Panthers. And then we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. So let me ask this question. Tazalak, I'm gonna ask you. The rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Do you believe this to be true, a true saying? And if so, why? And how can we change it?
The rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Do I believe that to be a true statement?
Yes.
Yeah. I think
Why?
that
Why
is a true
so?
statement
Why so?
because first of all, monetarily, the rich are rich. The poor are rich in spirit a lot of times. And I think because of lack of information, our people in general don't see a way out of poverty because they don't understand the game that they in. They don't understand the rules of the game. Like before, like they don't understand the playbook. They don't understand, how, like, cause when you get to play in the NFL or whatever, like you got to be able to see that linebacker when he tapped that defensive end and he run to the right, like he might be blitzing. You know what I'm saying? When that cornerback step on the inside, he might be coming for a QB sack. And then when you see that, you got to be able to adjust right there on the spot. Like you might have came out there with a whole different play, but as soon as you see what you see on the field, because you understand the plays, you understand the playbook, you're like, okay, we need to adjust right now, right on the spot. That's what we lack. We don't know how to adjust the people of the earth as far as the poor people. Whenever things change up, because as we gain more information and as we gain more insight on how to operate economically, they're gonna run different plays. Like y'all see it now. Like y'all see, some of the economical challenges we face when we began to implement certain strategies that they utilize themselves. But once we learn it, they start pushing the goalposts. So, along with being in tune with the spirit, like we had to be in tune with practical things and practical knowledge. And we can't be afraid to learn. Like we gotta stop acting like we've learned enough. We gotta learn practical things. We need to learn like how to do things that may not be necessarily what we generically think of as the normal. Like, where are our biochemists and nuclear engineers and things of that nature? Like, why are people like, won't scared to learn, how to build a computer from scratch, or what I'm saying, how to operate like solar power. You know what I'm saying? Like to be and see. And another thing is we don't have to use their universities to learn. Like you don't become a scholar because you got a certificate. You become a scholar or a very educated individual because of what you have learned and acquired in knowledge. And all of the books and all of the resources and everything is available to us. Like we're in the information age now. The information that is available to mankind overall is at a peak. Is like no reason why an individual can't learn anything that they're seeking out, because it's all there, it's all available. And it's gonna be for a limited amount of time, because right now, they trying to close the door on education. Public school system is full of crap. That joint is an indoctrination facility at this point, for social engineering and perversion. So like, and another thing, we need to come together educationally. Like the people need to, along with ministry, like need to become, like start having more activities and more circumstances that involve the children. Like, that's another thing I don't really see out here in this walk of faith. Like, the children are, we're teaching them about the truth, but what about the community aspect of it? Like, what is gonna make them want to keep what we got going on after 50 years after we old and we can't think clearly no more, you know, what's gonna make them say, you know what, this is the way, and this is what we need to continue on. If we're not putting stuff in place structurally that benefits them and that excites them and that motivates them and that makes them, you know, want to, you know, continue, because as far as the fight goes, the world is very enticing, because not even just, you know, because of all the, you know, the negative stuff, like just in general, like the camaraderie of it, you know, the teamwork that we see being applied on every level, no matter what the circumstance is. You know, like we got to take that stuff in consideration. Like some of the, like you say with the charity, like, man, these people be banding together, and, you know, like it or not, like, I don't deal with Red Cross at all, but man, them people everywhere. You know, they even in the machine, like that jump be asking for 3 cents, 7 cents, 9 cents now. Like, yeah, whenever you go to the grocery store or whatever, or the pharmacy, or wherever the case may be.
Even at the gas, even
like,
at the pump, the gas pump.
They're gonna say, you want to give us the 12 cent left and round that up, make it even.
Yeah, man.
And this is this thing is running on autopilot. So think like how many customers come through, you know, a store or whatever, and they gave that junk 4 cents, 7 cents, because it seemed like nothing. But this is like every day, all day, bro.
Yeah, this joint run deep, man. It run deep, bro. But now you said a lot, man. And I'm definitely feel what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? You win it, man. You know what I'm saying? You saying what you gotta say. Let me ask this question to anybody else, man. The rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Do you believe that this to be a true saying? And if so, why? And I really want to know, how can we change it? How can we get out this situation?
I believe that's a true statement. And I believe that's a true statement because we raise our children up in poverty. When we impoverish, our children are raised impoverished. And, you know, we train up our children in the way in which they should go. So if we know poverty and that's all we know, we're gonna raise our children up to know poverty. And I believe that's a curse as well. I believe we raise our children up in that environment. And when they raise in that environment, that's all they know. So they just continue to cycle. You know, we was impoverished. We didn't know nothing. We taught them what we understood and what we knew. And what we passed down to them was poverty.
Poverty cycle.
Yeah, I believe it's a cycle. We pass it down to them. And then once we pass it down to them, you know, especially when we in these countries that's, like you said, Burundi earlier, you spoke to Burundi. Burundi is an impoverished nation. So you got the president and the leaders of these countries coming from an impoverished background. So all they know is poverty. So when you get these Western world countries coming over here offering them a bag, they thinking that's the world. Not realizing that you got gold, diamonds, all these things in your backyard, you know. So yeah, I believe that that's what it is. Now, how can we change it? Yeah. The only way to change it is like, right, like, because, you know, speaking, and like the brother said earlier, got to go to Paul, Romans 12:2, you know, through the renewing of the mind. We got to renew our minds. We got to be retaught. We got to begin to understand. We got to get rid of that whole mind state of we are, you know, we nothing. Because with being raised in poverty comes that mind state, that impoverished mind state. It's a low self-esteem to it, you know. So we got that. So our mind has to be renewed. You know, we got to know the truth. We got to learn. We got to get out. We got to get out here and teach the gospel.
Yeah.
We got to teach the gospel first through our works, and then we'll be able to come with the words. But it first got to be through the works. But I believe we got to get out here and teach the gospel. That's what I think. And I believe that'll be the only way to, you know, unravel a lot of those mental strongholds we got on us, man.
No, facts, man. I agree, bro. I agree, man. You know, we gotta teach the gospel and live the gospel. We really gotta teach, you know, the core mission of the gospel, you know, and you know that'll and do it, you know, keep doing what we're doing. Anybody else? The rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Do you believe this to be a true saying? And if so, why? And how can we change it?
I believe it's a true saying. And the reason why I say it, I believe it's true because like both of the odds been saying, like we see it every day in our communities as well as their communities. It's certain things they do to protect their communities from certain quote unquote poverty stricken people to come over there bringing that mess over there. And then us as the poverty stricken people, we do certain stuff that keep us in that poverty stricken mindset. Like who's that? Tazalak. I think he said something like we don't know the games that's being played. We like, and it's sad because we like the main key to this game, but we don't know how to play it. It's like we stuck in some type of trend, like we don't know how to get up out. Like I was telling the Akbanaya and Tez on our podcast a couple of weeks ago, like we put barricades in front of ourselves. We are our own roadblock. And what we need to do, I think what we need to do to fix this, like the Akbanaya said, was most definitely, we have to get out here and teach this, wake our people up, those of us who have this knowledge and wisdom, we have to get out here and teach these people. Much is given, much is required. So we are required to do these things, whether they're here or for there. But we got to do this stuff because our people is like, we think we the bottom of the bottom and that's it. We think we nothing, not knowing we the best people. We done built up every nation, every great nation out here, but we think we the bottom of the bottom. So we need to get out here and really get to these people and let them know, like, look, Most High require us to do such and such by these people. Let's do it. And our people, as well as have to be wanting to change too, as well. Like we can do our part reaching out to them, but they gotta want to change as well. But you know, that's what I think though. Yes, I think rich stay rich, poor stay poor, and we have to get out here and reach out to them, whether they're here or from there. Because so at the end of the day, like the Akbanai was saying too, we teaching this to our children, and what they gonna do? They're gonna teach it to their children, and their children gonna teach it to their children. It's gonna be a domino effect. So it's gonna keep in the same pattern. So you know, that's what we got to do. Legacy. That's a perfect word right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know, now what you're saying is real though, bro. You know, man, we like, you know, like you and Brother Benaiah saying, we got to go and teach. We got to go teach this stuff. We got to teach, you know, we got to teach it. And not only we have to, like, we have to teach it a different way. We got to teach it and do it. You know, we got to be, you know, we got to be really trying to, you know, make an impact. You know, it's really about making an impact. It's cool to teach, but we got to teach and make that impact, you know, make that impact, you know, we can do what was done before us when it comes to like the Israelite camps and things like that. They did a lot of teaching, a lot of people coming in, you know, through the teaching, you know, but it wasn't no real impact when it comes to a change within the communities with the issues that we have. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what we have to really focus on. So, and I want to talk about the Black Panthers before we wrap it up. So the Black Panthers, this is a quick Wikipedia research with the Black Panthers, but I want to talk about their legacy. So one of the things of the legacy, and this is very, very important and what we should really, you know, look at, and, you know, I think the Black Panthers should have a holiday like Martin Luther King. Shoot, you know what I mean? But the legacy, so the success of the Black Panther parties, free breakfast for children program helped reduce hunger and food insecurity while pressuring state and federal governments to expand their own services. The program showed how hunger could affect a child's ability to learn and advocated for the need of similar programs nationwide. The program showed the government's failure in the war on poverty and their lack of support for addressing childhood hunger. Now, the Black Panther Party, by them doing this free breakfast for the children program, and this free breakfast for the children program fed my dad and my uncles and aunties, you know. But this is how important it is. It felt real like people, you know, this really did help, you know, the communities. All right, to the point that it made the government look bad. It made them look bad on the war on poverty. What Tupac say? They got a war on poverty. It's a war on poverty, but police got a war on drugs, so the police can buy the meat. You know, the Black Panthers made them look bad. It made the government look bad. All right. Within 6 months, the Black Panther Party had free breakfast programs distributed in 23 cities across the United States and served over 20,000 kids between 1969 and 1970 alone, just that alone. All right. So, and then the Black Panther Party had over 5,000 members spread out in 45 chapters across the United States, which inspired federally funded programs in schools to provide free meals. The Black Panther Party, they inspired, you know, schools and the federal government to provide funding to provide free free meals in school. It's because of them we got free meals in school. Y'all don't, that's important. That's important. It's because of brothers coming together to fight against poverty. We got free meals. We got free meals in school because of that, y'all. Where you think it came from? That one, we ain't have free meals before the Black Panther parties. It established in 1966, okay? The U.S. Department of Agriculture will create school breakfast programs for unprivileged children. These programs are inherently rooted in the Black Panthers Party belief that children cannot learn without adequate nutrition. However, it would be a decade or more before free breakfast would become almost universally available to poor children. In California, the party pushed Ronald Reagan administration to create a statewide free breakfast program. And while the federally funded school breakfast program was first piloted in 1966, Congress only permitted it authorized in 1965. So even though they did this work in 1966, it took all the way to 1975 for it to be, you know, publicly, you know, admitted out to everybody, to those that's in need. All right. But so I wanted to show that, you know, to let people know, man, like, yeah, they also did WIC. That's what the WIC, you know, that program, all of that, you know, Section 8, it started because of the Black Panther Party, what they did. All right. It made the government look stupid. All right. It made them look like they ain't fighting against power. And that's what we gonna do. We gonna make the world powers look stupid. You know, we gonna make them look stupid. Because the Black Panthers, they did this just within the United States. We can do this internationally, y'all. We can do these was brothers that came from the same neighborhoods we came from, same places we come from. Same mentality we have, you know, they just put that mentality into books and into organization and into strategizing and into really putting an effort into to make a change, to make an impact. And people and everybody in the Black Panther Party didn't agree. They didn't agree. You had different chairmen that didn't agree on that. I studied the Black Panther Party is something that's very important to me because my family from Oakland. I know a lot about it, and it's very important. You know what I'm saying? It's very important, man. So I want to get y'all feedback on that. Like, how can we achieve something like this or even greater works? You know, give me like a quick example. How can we achieve this? Let's spark the minds of the people.
Get rid of all the division for one. Oh, go ahead, Adawan, my bad.
No, you good, bro. That's right. But I was just gonna say, you know, actually the Black Panther Party, when you was reading the article on it, you know, I was like, yeah, they had a lot of, you know what I'm saying, prerequisites to what, you know, some of the government is trying to do now, because it was based on what the Black Panther Party did that WIC started. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, but when you look at it, the Black Panther did it, the Black Panthers, they did it on a grassroots level. And it was for our neighborhoods because we wasn't getting the support from the government that other groups were getting. And so we know that it works because the government itself adopted it into their own program. And so I would say that, you know, what we doing now, starting where we starting, and that's all it is just a start right now. And it's starting on the grassroots level in the respective areas that we in. But when you look at that format, you understand that we not taking donations from no government agencies and all of that. I mean, it'd be nice, but you know, this is something we doing on our own. And I say that based on what we're doing now, just imagine if you had different celebrities or athletes or something like that would get an understanding of what we're doing and start contributing to it. How the needs of the people really can be met. And I say that because we got a lot of our people in sports, entertainment, and all of these different things, even in the academia arena and stuff, you know, and in the professional arena, you know, the business arena. It's like a lot of these people have the money to do it, but what they'll do is they'll donate to nationally recognized charities to get tax write-offs and all of that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you donating to a group and you don't know what's happening with your money, really. You know, with us on the grassroots level, we got works showing that we giving everything to the people. And I believe that that's the core essential to really giving to charity, is giving the people who got hands-on with these people, not putting it in another group's hand that you know nothing about other than they got a nationally recognized name. But at the end of the day, you don't know what they're really doing with the money. So, and for you to be given to a charity and not really knowing what's really going on with that, I mean, how could you even be comfortable with that? If I was giving my money to an organization or to a charity, I want to know all about that charity and that organization. I want to see the fruits of their labor and everything. See exactly how they spending the money, where the money going. I want to see the people that's benefiting from it and actually seeing the benefit. You know, it's like if you was to just come among your community and give whatever you're gonna give out of your wealth to them, and then be a part of it also. Don't just put it in somebody's hand just to say, I did it. Get involved with the work too, if you can. And I'll leave it at that. And like I said, what the Black Panthers did, hey, that was the blueprint right there. And, you know, and even to the point that the government conspired against this group and then gonna adopt their ideas, you know? Exactly. So that's what I got to say.
Hey, you know how it is. That's how they do with us.
Thanks, man. Nah, that's right on, bro. Right on, man. You know, and we, you know, like if we able to organize like the Black Panther Party, then we do this in Christ. The Black Panther Party, they was communists. They didn't really, you know, these people, you know, was following communist people on a spiritual aspect. They didn't really, you know, they wasn't into Christ. You know what I'm saying? Now if we, you know, understand, we have the understanding of Christ. And if we can get organized like the Black Panther Party did, and we can set up different chapters, different branches, you know, in different areas and come together, you know, we can feed over 20,000 people within a year. You know, we can do those things. You know, we can we're not trying to make the government look stupid, but it's just gonna happen because of what we have to do for our people, you know? Like, so, I mean, hey man, it's interesting. Anybody else want to chime on this? Like, how can we achieve something that the Black Panther Party did, or even greater works? How can we achieve something like that?
I think sticking to the you know, the program, man, sticking to what we, you know, what we got planned. Y'all, all y'all brothers, you know, we have our meetings and stuff. We know what the plans are. I think sticking to that, man. I think honestly, man, this thing international that we, you know, where our minds are, it's a whole, it's worldwide, you know. And I'm not saying, you know, hey, like my cousin said, man, that's, you know, that was the blueprint what those brothers was laying. And I don't even think they understood, you know, the work that they was doing, you know. But yeah, the work that they was doing was the blueprint, man. And I think that we actually making strides towards operating in that manner, and also us nation building within it. See, that's the thing. I believe that's the key as well, because giving our people a sense of identification, to be able to identify with themselves who they are, who their people were, who their God is, what they belong to. You know, I think all of that makes it a stronger fight. You know, it make you want to fight tooth and nail for it, because now this belongs to you. This is yours. This, you know, and you know, these people you will have a fervent love for. So you would go out here and you would get a shirt off your back and do the things like that for them. You know, understanding that these is your people, and it'll be a different love, and you know, while you operating that way. So I believe that we on the right track, man. I think we just got to stick to the script. We got to continue in the love of Christ, and hey man, we listen. Disagreements ain't nothing, man. Holla at me. Any of y'all brothers got a problem with me, offense, hit me up. Holla at me, man. I'm approachable. Holla at me, man. We talk it out, and that's that. And that goes for anybody who may join on to us and come on with us and operate, and let's make this move. Y'all hit me up if you got an offense with me, and we can talk about it. We'll deal with it, you know, and I'll do the same to you, because, hey, it's bigger than us. This thing is bigger than us.
Definitely, man. All praise to the Most High, man. Definitely appreciate y'all brothers coming on, man. We're about to wrap it up, man. But anybody want to chime in before I ask the last question? Anybody want to chime in about the Black Panther Party? You know, how can we achieve that? You know, or even something greater? You know, by following the blueprint that they laid for us. How can, you know, we achieve that?
Yeah, bro. What I think would be the way to go about it, and we should learn from what they were successful at, but we should also learn where they failed at. And you know, you want to try to duplicate what they achieved and all the good things that happened, but you know, let's learn from their mistakes. And you know, that's what the past is for. Hindsight is 2020. So you know what I'm saying? With they didn't know, you know, that was a trial. That was the first time something of that nature happened. So, you know, they didn't know all the obstacles they was gonna run into. They didn't know everything that was gonna occur, but they stepped out on faith, and they did everything they did. So now, you know, in the future, it's our job to take a look back and to, you know, analyze and you know, reverse engineer that jump and bring it back better, you know.
Yeah, man.
And you know, I think a very important part of success for us is not to be concerned with fame. Like a lot of times, man, we, as a people, we get wrapped up in, you know, titles and being known and all of these things. And, you know, a lot of times, man, if you got a whole army of generals, then they don't know who to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
if everybody's a leader, then they can't take out the leader.
Exactly. They knock one out, it's 10 more, 20 more. You know, we don't die, we multiply, baby. But nah, man, real talk, man. Hey, man, the last question, man, what do y'all want to say to the people? You know, what is y'all message you want to say to the people, you know, about this fight against poverty? You know, what do y'all want to say?
I'll say, first and foremost, we need to learn to love one another before anything. We need to learn how to love one another as a whole. The Most High require a nation, not a camp, not a church. So we need to get rid of all these strongholds that's stopping us from doing these things and really cleave to one another, because at the end of the day, we all we have. So in order for us to build with one another, we have to, I repeat, love one another. And the second thing I will say is, I leave this message, like, it's just, my message is simple: love, peace, and hair grease. Hey, true, hey, that's straight up. But no, for real though, love one another. That's key. Unite as a nation, as a whole. That's what the Most High required, and I'll leave it at that for real.
Mm-hmm. Love one, hug one, man. Hey, man. Anybody else, like anybody else? What's your message to the people, to the, you know, to the viewers, to anybody, man? Of, you know, about this fight against poverty. What's your message?
Humility.
Hey, you got it.
Yeah. Humility. Humility is the message. I know a lot of people, you know, because of the pride of their heart and the way they feel, you know, certain things that they gained in this world. Like even when Christ told the rich man, he said, "Hey, listen, go sell all that you have, you know, or go give away all that you have to the poor, and then come walk with me." He walked away with a broke heart, you know. He had great possessions, and he didn't want to get those things away, man. It's a deeper level. It's another level when we dealing with Christ. It ain't just the law. I know a lot of times brothers look at the law and they say, "Hey man, I'm keeping the commandments. I got my beard, I got my fringes, I got my this and my that, I got all of this." But on the inside, hey man, listen here. You full of dead man's bones. You know what I'm saying? You ain't really cleansed yourself on the inside first. And that's the requirement that the Most High have of us, because he tried hard. So we first got to cleanse ourselves, man, and then we'll be able to deal with each other. I think doing that, cleansing ourselves, dealing with each other, and actually going out here and dealing with charity with a pure heart, I think that's where it's at. I think that's the things that we need to do. We need to cleanse ourselves, because you know that law, man, judgment, mercy, and faith, those are the weightier matters of the law. So the judgment starts here, starts with self. We first got to judge self. That's where the judgment starts at. Then we can have mercy to brothers and sisters and everyone else. Once we judged ourselves, then we can show mercy. We can't do that before we cleansed ourselves. So I think that's where it starts, and then we can get out here and start to, you know, deal with charity with a pure heart. But I think that's where it starts first.
No, yeah. Right on, bro. You know, we gotta really, you know, check ourselves, you know, because that's the only way we're gonna link in together and do, you know, and do what's right, you know, do what's right. Before you. And I only say that because we're going to be pointing the finger at everybody else, other brothers, because a brother might not have the beard you think he's supposed to have. He might not have the fringes or whatever it may be that you think that he don't have.
because you're not using the law to judge yourself. You're looking and pointing at everybody else. And that's why I said that. And so I just wanted to clear that up before you moved on. Sorry about that.
That's right though. That's right on, bro. You know, like we're not gonna be able to come together if we not checking ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why some of us not able to come together, because we still haven't, you know, we're not checking ourselves, you know, and checking yourselves is not a one-time thing. You know, you gotta keep that going, you know, and what it is, people are not, you know, looking in the mirror and like, you know what, yeah. I be sometimes I be like that. I do be like that. You know, I need to do, you know what I'm saying? I need to do better. I need to, you know, tighten up with this. You know, I need to really show more love in this situation, you know, or I need to, you know, not be angry about this situation to the point I can't link with this person. I can't do, because that's what's keeping us from not coming together is us. We're not coming together because we're not checking ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We're not checking ourselves. You know, anybody else, man? What do y'all want to? What do you want to say to the people? You know, to the viewers. You know, about you know, your message about this poverty issue. Anybody want to drop their message towards the people?
You know, I say that you know, you might not be able to be a part of what you see us doing in the physical, you know, but you still can play a part. Whatever you got to give, I mean, because that goes, whether it's your time, your money, I mean, it could be any kind of assistance that you can, you know, that you can fulfill. And not to think that because you see somebody doing something that it seems like it's something great, or that you feel like you can't be a part of it, because you know, it's a lot that's needed, a lot of gifts and talents that's needed, you know, it's a lot of, I mean, resources needed, and you can just, you know, see where you fit in it. And it don't have to be our group, you know what I'm saying? It could be any other group, you know, especially if that group is patterned after Christ, you know, and they have a heart for Christ and for his people. I mean, I just say, just get involved, you know, just do some research and see where you can fit in and where you can do it. Like I said, it don't have to be our group, you know. I mean, Christ ain't limited. So, you know, just let your effort and your help, you know what I'm saying? Just put that forward, you know, and go forward in Christ with it, and see where you or your resources may be needed at, you know?
Right on, bro. Nah, real talk. That's I definitely agree, bro. Anybody else, man? What's your message, you know, for the people, you know, about the poverty, you know, about the fighting the poverty mission, you know, what is your message towards the people?
And faith and works go hand in hand. You know, you gotta have faith and works. You know what I'm saying? You can't have one without the other. So, you know, be faithful and go hard. You know what I'm saying? Grind hard and have strong faith, you know, or at least the faith of mustard seed.
Definitely, man. Anybody else want to chime in? You know,
Yeah.
what's your message for the people, bro, about to fight the poverty mission?
I would just say, just like everybody else said, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be a part of, you know, our organization, or you don't have to be a part of any, you know, big time organization or anything that's great in number and things like that, right? Look, at the end of the day, as long as you pick up your brick and you begin to build, that's all that matter. And I believe that that's what the Most High, you know, redeem is being honorable. The fact that you trying to edify, you know what I'm saying, the poor, and you trying to edify the body of Christ. You got to crawl before you walk. So you can start off with, you know, something small. I got a scripture I want to go to. This is Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 4, to show that, you know, like charity work is actually a commandment. Giving to the poor and giving to the needy is actually a commandment. Once again, just like the brother said before me, it don't have to necessarily always be finances. It can be your time. It can even be like, for example, let's say you somebody that work in a particular field, right? And whatever this field is, usually people have to pay to get the assistance for it. But you know, you might live in a neighborhood where the people need that type of assistance, but maybe it's an impoverished neighborhood. You being in that field, maybe you can donate your time and you can donate your resources and you can donate your experience in that field to help out some of those people that's in your own community, right? We're going to Deuteronomy 15, and let me see. I'm gonna start verse 4. It says, save when there shall be no poor among you, for the Most High shall greatly bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it. Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy God, to observe to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. For the Lord thy God blesseth thee as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. And thou shalt reign over many nations, but thou shalt not reign over, but they shall not reign over thee. It says, if there be among you a poor man and one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in thy land, which the Most High thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thy heart, nor shut up thy hand from thy poor brother. And this is not, you know, as we see, this is not talking about your real brother, which of course, you know, you want to be charitable to him too, but this is talking about somebody that's of the same nation as you. And I will even go as far as to say, not just somebody that's of the same nation of you, but even if it's a Gentile, like you know, when you read in the Gospels and they asked Christ, if I'm not mistaken, who is thy brother? And Christ basically gave them an example of about how you had a Levite that fell sick or something like that. And you had a whole bunch of other Levites passing by him, but it was that Gentile who actually picked him up and got him back to health and then, you know, sent him on his way. So we have to understand that on top of that, our brothers and you know, those who should be our friends is not necessarily just those of our nation, but it's those that do right by us the same way that we supposed to do right by them, right? Verse 7. What? It said, verse 8. It says, but thou shalt open thy hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wanteth. It says, beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and thy eye be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him naught, and he cry unto the Most High against thee, and it be sin unto thee. Thou shalt surely give him, and thy heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him. I think that's another thing that's important, because a lot of scriptures that I went to, it keeps saying when you give, don't give in a grudging matter, or don't be grieved when you give. This, once again, this is not something that should be held as a burden. Like when you give, you shouldn't be saying, dang, man, you always asking for something. Or dang, you again? And things like that, right? Verse 11, it says, for the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thy hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor, and to thy needy in thy land. So this is something that we commanded to do from the Most High. So if we say we the children of the Most High, and you know, we love the Most High when we do right by his children and we keep his commandments. And if this is a commandment, then this is one of the things that we definitely ought to do, which is to give to the less fortunate.
Nah, right on, bro. Nah, good scriptures, man. All praises to the Most High, man. I appreciate y'all brothers coming on here. Let's keep on doing this work. Let's encourage other brothers and sisters to do this work. Let's do it. Let's really, you know, do what the Black Panthers did when it comes to the fight against the poverty, you know, in the healthcare. You know, they actually opened up clinics too. They would, you know, so, you know, we can do that. We can do that. We can do it. You know, we can do it, man. But Shalom, and we out of here. We out. Let me end this. We out. It's done. We ain't live no more. It's
It was a
still
good
recording
podcast,
though.
bro.
All praise to the Most High, man.